be in these conditions that are so terrible and lacking resources and all of these different things. Like, it's just a cycle that someone has to be responsible to break out of and say, I'm going against the grain, I'm doing something different, and I'm holding other people around me responsible. Like, there's music to the point now where we're talking about sexual assault and physical violence very blatantly in music. I was doing a little research, and I went on the Billboard Top 100 chart earlier, and I looked at the lyrics for the top 5 songs. Cardi B's number 5, and then I also noticed that all of the lyrics for all of the songs involved some type of conversation about the conquest of a woman's body. They're related to sex. Like, even if it's just one line, it's something about how, like, I'ma get it, I'ma take it. And then that conquest is also so violent. Like,
all right, hold on, Cardi B's song, or is it?
Well, Cardi B still is like sexual, but I think women being sexual in hip hop is a whole other conversation that we can have about what it means to take back our sexuality as women and not appeal to the male gaze.
But is it okay for women to do it and not okay for men to do it?
So I think it depends, right? Nicki Minaj had an ad a couple years ago where she was selling her Moscato in a swimsuit. And there was someone that I knew that was going around town putting stickers all over the ad saying, this ad sexualizes women. And I was like, hold on a second, like, let's have this conversation. Because if Nicki Minaj is a person that is owning her brand, that owns this company and is saying, like, I look good in this swimsuit and I want to show it off or whatever, like, that's a different conversation than if she is saying, I'm appealing to the male gaze to sell something. However, sex work is real work, and we also need to talk about that and what that means, like, to get reparations from men and to appeal to that male gaze to live, because we don't make as much as men. So what are the things that we have to do to supplement our income? What are the things that we have to do to survive in this country? Let's have that conversation too, if you want to talk about women selling themselves or whatever that looks like. So I think it's a different conversation that we have with women than with men that are being very violent against our bodies. Let's have the conversation about R. Kelly and why he's still alive at our party. Let's have a conversation about why we get so hypnotized by, like, the Chicago Step-In and all of these different things when we talk about the responsibility of people in power and the platforms that they have to change a narrative. Because when we look at hip-hop, it's not dominated by women. Like, we don't have the power in that arena. So we're looking to other people to be like, is this how y'all feel about this? Is this what you care about? Is this all that we're worth to? And is this what we're going to keep perpetuating in youth with these messages of what's allowed, like what you're allowed to do with my body and how you're allowed to do it? And I think that those are the things that we need to keep talking. Like, it's absolutely unacceptable. There's no excuse for it at all. And I believe and I know that we are way more intelligent than that. We are not that shallow-minded to only have lyrics about what you are going to do to a woman's body and then all of the violent ways. We are way more than that.
I totally agree with you. And what's interesting, before you chime in, because oh boy, he's ready. All right, so this is interesting. No, because he spoke about it. Now, like I said, this is a very intelligent brother here, right here. All right, so on September 25th, 2007, he mentioned it. He testified before Congress. You testified before Congress at a hearing about racism and misogyny in hip-hop music, titled From Imus to Industry: The Business of Stereotypes and Degrading Images. My man. Now, during your testimony, you were quoted as saying, quote, change the situation in my neighborhood and maybe I'll get better. I can admit that there are some problems in hip-hop, but it is only a reflection of what's taking place in our society. Hip-hop is sick because America is sick, end quote. So I have to change your views?
Let me say this. This is one of the biggest problems that I have in general. Is I think a lot of times, and I'm not saying you, but I think a lot of times people are scared to say that old white men are the problem that we have in America. Because you cannot talk, as it pertains to patriarchy in America, Africans did not come over here acting like this. And the problem is everything was ripped from a black man's mind. Their religion, their understanding of God, their understanding of the woman. Because like I said on the radio today, the truth, and not to offend anybody, but the original Trinity was God, woman, and man. In no particular order, but God. And what happens is because most of us don't want to lose our place in America, and it's easy to castrate a black man, we'll talk about, and which I am in no way making any excuses for Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, but why don't I feel that same aggression when it comes to the Weinstein brothers? I don't hear our people with the same aggression. So for me, there is no way that you can talk about patriarchy without talking about white men. When you even look, because we don't like to study, if you even look at the islands, like black men they call it buck breaking. They raped us too. White men rape everybody. So the same oppressive way that they'll put our little girls on the sideline of a football game and have a skirt that's shorter than whatever, you know what I mean. And it has nothing to do with a man playing football. You have barbershop commercials where you shake up the can and women come out of the barbershop. They don't have nothing to do with shaving. They want black men to act better, but no one ever taught us how to. But what I'm going to say to women, and then I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to go back to where I'm great at, is with the power that is now being vested in our women, make sure that you don't become as oppressive as those who oppressed you. Because in one sentence, we'll tell a man, do not tell me what to do with my body and what I should do. But then you'll turn around and tell a man what he should do. And I understand it when it comes to how I treat you, but no one but a man should be able to show a man how to be a man. And I think what ends up happening is that we have to do some traveling. We're not going to find that in America. Come on. We're going to have to learn our original language and go back and pull that real meaning of what a man means. Because even me, I will admit, I learned how to become a man from pimps and gangsters. I did. But when everybody tells me, I used to tell my dad this, they used to tell me, do better. How? Where? Show me an example of a true man. And then somebody, for me, will holler Obama. I thought he was spineless. He didn't do nothing for black people that you can write on a sheet of paper. No. And then you say, well, he was constricted by the position that he was in. Trump ain't constricted. He doing whatever the hell he want to do. Jewish people got $12 million in reparations for the Holocaust that did not happen in America. Was it slavery a form of a Holocaust? Exactly. Did it happen to your people? Exactly. So for me, I just think that we have to be careful about castrating or talking to a situation that is knee-deep in something else. Our manhood was taken away from us. The reason why we say the word nigger is because we want to act like white slave masters. Most black people in general want to be white in the first place. So the reason why black men malfunction, and I talk about this in my lectures all the time. I said, wouldn't you agree, and y'all answer this question, that the central processing unit of a computer was based on the human brain? Would you agree with that? Okay, well imagine this. Imagine all of the programs on the central processing unit being deleted. It's the internet, the mathematics, in our case, our sense of God, our relationship with our women and our family. Let's say all of that was erased and a virus called nigger was uploaded. Because Africans didn't know nothing about niggers. That was an experiment. So when we start malfunctioning, who do you blame? The computer or the computer programmer? When you have to understand there has never been any new programs uploaded. Because even in this situation where we're supposed to be talking to the parents about how we can make our kids act better, we again are talking about each other.
So, okay. I think she wants